everything else inside here, those are the things that we can't get to, that they're contaminants. And then anything that's, what's that? So here now, this is another next step on this thing. So we've already spent 26 minutes, right? Committed 26 minutes to cleaning it, doing a physical clean. The next part of this is that the actual application takes us about 15 seconds to do the whole entire ambulance. But you now have to let it sit. We're recommending right now no less than 20 minutes and upwards of 60 minutes in a known contact. So if you actually have somebody who has tuberculosis, smallpox, something like that, ordinarily your ambulance would be taken out of service. Immediately anyway.
If you're even transporting.
Right. So so you're talking about like an hour or 2 hours of going back in service. That's really kind of really good. But on a routine basis, we're hopeful that we're going to get to the point where our disinfection practices of using the sprays and things like that are so good that we just have good hygiene practices, that the foggers themselves will be like a once a day thing, or once a week thing. We're still working that all out to see what's reasonable and practical. And that's where we're working with the experts to figure out the frequency, because we don't want to overdo things too, because we also know a lot of these chemicals that are being used, not necessarily what we're using, they're actually registered as pesticides, essentially. How long does that last? So what happens is, when you apply it, the chemical reaction has a certain amount of time until that chain reaction, if you will, ceases. So in this case, the peracetic acid breaks down to acetic acid. The hydrogen peroxide recharges the acetic acid into peroxacetic acid, and then it just continues to go until the hydrogen peroxide no longer can recharge the acetic acid into peroxacetic acid. So I'm not a chemist. Hopefully I explain that the best I possibly can. But and then it'll go. What's really good about that is you don't wipe it after it's done. You leave that, whatever is on the surface, leave it there and allow it to continue killing until it's no longer able to kill anymore. That's important, especially when you're talking about sporoidecidals, trying to kill spores. The vegetative bacteria, viruses, all the numbers of pathogens. So anyway, but that's really what it comes down to, is what we're really afraid of is that people will take these foggers and think, well, this is all I have to do. I just have to go in and fog it and it works. Well, unfortunately it doesn't work that well. Not that well, it doesn't work that way.
So it should be used as a secondary or even tertiary?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's an in addition to, not an and or. It's an in addition to. It's an and. It's never going to be an or. And why that's important is, if you have mucus or blood sitting there on the counter, you either have to physically remove that, or there's systems that you could go in and dehydrate all that stuff and then scrape it up and stuff. But then we've removed that heavy contaminant, right? We still now have to disinfect it. So this is always going to be in addition to another system, another cleaning and disinfection process. So anyway, I think this was helpful. Thank you, guys. And I will let you know how it goes. But all right. Thanks, guys.